Hello and welcome to NCPA On Stage, where we explore the stunning performances at China's National Center for the Performing Arts. I'm your host, Ying Ying. In today's episode, we delve into a unique Sheng Concerto titled Phenomena, commissioned by the NCPA Orchestra. This remarkable piece made its China premiere this May at the NCPA. Today, I'm so delighted to have the Sheng virtuoso Wu Wei, composer Bernd Richard Deutsch, and NCPA Orchestra's head of artistic planning, Tang Ning, with us to share their artistic collaboration and the behind-the-scenes efforts in organizing and presenting such a unique concerto. Before we delve into the commissioned work, Mr. Wu Wei, could you introduce our listeners to the Sheng and perhaps give us a brief demonstration of its sound?
So the Sheng is our oldest Chinese wind instrument, very special actually is a free reed instrument. So today, if we are in the conservatorium study accordion, you will see the family tree of the world. Say Chinese Sheng is a grandmother from this free reed instrument. And what I play is a kind of 37 modified Chinese Sheng. I have to thank for my professor Wen Zhenfa and Mo Shanping. He was creation this kind of design, redesigned instrument. And he respected to the traditional Chinese Sheng to keep the traditional timbre, then development the pitch range from G3 to D6. So you can play all chromatics. Here, for example, the lowest note is G, middle, high, that's highest G. If we play together, so you can play all chromatic sound. This instrument is the oldest organ in the world. I think it's only one Chinese instrument influence to the Western instrument. So Chinese culture in Western, something like that.
Yeah, Mr. Bernd Richard Deutsch, as a European composer, can you tell us when did you first hear the Sheng, and what's your initial impression of this instrument?
Well, I was asked by my publisher Busian Talks one day if I would be interested to write a concerto for this instrument and for Mr. Wu Wei. And I must confess, at that time I didn't know much of the instrument. So I informed myself through videos where Wu Wei was playing, and I was fascinated from the first moment by this instrument, which is really unique. Yeah, in the one hand, Wu Wei said that it is related to the accordion maybe, and also to the mouth harmonica, but it's different actually. It's actually stronger. The sound is more forte, no? It's not as soft as, for example, the accordion is. So it has a sharpness, but also a dynamic range, let's say. So I fell in love with the instrument, and so I had to get into it. At the beginning, Wu Wei sent me some fingering lists, chords that are possible. And at the beginning, I tried to get into these lists and to build, on the paper, more or less. To combine some notes. And I said, someday I need the instrument. So I can't go on like this, it's too theoretic. So I asked Wu Wei to give me one of his instruments, which he did. And then I tried to learn the fingerings. So that was the first step, the very important step. Mm-hmm. The fingering system is really illogical. It's really different. It's more, there's more the scale,
Yeah, it's another system.
It's a completely other system.
Western musical.
Totally. I tried to learn the fingering so I could play the bit. And then I composed actually using the instrument. And one day when I had written half of the piece, maybe you came to Vienna.
Yeah.
And we discussed about what I have written and changed a bit. So it went on.
It's so amazing what he building the harmony. It looks very complex, but it's very logic about also combination how you building this kind of chords. I become shocked. Wow. Such chord.
You need the contact to the instrument.
Yes.
A physical contract. You have really to get into the sound, also to feel the sound. So at least for me, that was very important.
It seems like you learned another instrument.
Yeah,
and then you compose it. Yeah, it's very hard, very complicated. Let's talk about NCPA Orchestra's commissioned work, Phenomena for Sheng and Orchestra. But first, let's listen to a brief excerpt from the recording of this work. That was the Sheng Concerto Phenomena performed by Wu Wei and the NCPA Orchestra. I'd like to ask Ms. Tang Ning, as the head of artistic planning of NCPA Orchestra, can you tell us about the inspiration behind commissioning such a Sheng Concerto? How did the collaboration happen?
Well, actually, this time we are not the leading commissioner, and we were invited by Mr. Wu Wei and Hawks, the publisher, and they did a lot of work among the three of us. And definitely we were so interested in joining this plan because Mr. Wu Wei, the great Sheng virtuoso, and Mr. Deutsch, one of our best composers of our time. And we are so curious about what it would turn out to be to combine such an ancient Chinese instrument with the symphony orchestra. It's like putting very different things into one pot, and after months, even years of composition by the composer, we just want to see what it will be like.
Yeah, I guess it's a very inspiring collaboration between you guys because it's so unique to see a Sheng solo performances even in China, right? And Bernd, are there any challenges during your composing process?
Yeah, the challenge was the instrument itself. That's the biggest challenge in this project to get into it. And because, in other instruments, I wrote, for example, a cello concerto, but it's more normal, I mean, I had a cello at home and tried a lot of fingerings also, but it's not the same. I mean, you are used to it. You're right also in the orchestra always for such instruments. But here it was really a great challenge, I must say. But fascinating, we have to start from zero. You have to forget everything and there's a completely new world. I liked it much.
Do you find any difficulties in blending, the sound of Sheng with the orchestra? One is from the east, another one is from the west.
Yeah, for me this was not so much a problem actually, because I took it as a special quality and I wanted to get into the quality and into the sound. And also, of course, I mean, Phenomena. why it is called phenomena. Because the first phenomenon is the Sheng itself. The second phenomenon is Wu Wei, the player. The artist and the great soloist, Wu Wei. And that's also fascinating, to work with great soloists, to understand the character, the personality, and to transform this information into a work. It's the great challenge and also the great pleasure in writing concertos for great soloists.
I'd like to ask Wu Wei, could you share your experiences with the phenomena? How did you blend the traditional sound of the Sheng with the Western orchestra? Are there any challenges or special feelings to share?
Actually, I take the time to study in Germany or in Europe, study music, classic, jazz, or different kind of music. I think the sound aesthetic, it's more important for me if you do different music. I'm very lucky I could do a lot of, before our cooperation, do a lot of chamber music or concerto with orchestra. It's different sound concept if you play with orchestra. Sheng is an amazing instrument, so they have very rich overnotes. Overtone.
Overtones.
Overtone. So the mix with string, fantastic together. Actually mix with every instrument, fantastic. You don't feel really exotic. It's just together. If you play in right way. So if I thinking red color and I can produce red colors, that is magic for this kind of instrument. So during many experiments I do. I did jazz music, also the contemporary music, many composition. Don't say that's contemporary music or that is traditional music. Good music, everybody will be like.
Yeah, very impressive. How did you get the opportunity to bring the Sheng to the international stage?
Actually, I studied before in Shanghai Music Conservatorium. My teacher, my professor, so I have 2 or 3 professors. They have all have different direction. One is very strong in tradition part, one is very open for the contemporary, one is very combined between tradition and modern. So I was very influenced. So open just my mind. I go to Germany. I study jazz. So in Berlin, Hans Eisler. Yeah, I have chance in different music direction. So in jazz, in classic music. For example, I have project our first CD with organ together. Play Bach or play Vivaldi, Monteverdi, and all the stuff. So with Sheng, just information. And also I play many contemporary ensemble. We ask composers to write. I think it's more than 400 pieces already wrote for me and ensemble. I had more communication with the musician of different corner. Yeah, it brings me a lot of experience.
Yeah, you're absorbing all kinds of music to this instrument. And you appeared at prestigious festivals and venues worldwide with many leading orchestras and ensembles, including the Berlin Philharmonic. I'm wondering about the reception of the Sheng among Western audiences. Do they like it?
Mostly, so the piece, the music good, always they like that. And also this the very interesting, which kind of instrument you play? This come from China. Oh, wow, we never see that. Have so many, for example, in your piece, there are a lot of birds.
Yeah.
I play some birds in the Sheng. Normally we think birds, only Sona play birds. A lot of 百鸟朝凤, something like that. But he creation a lot of interesting sound. Also very happy. Many people know many nice sing culture, actually from China or from Chinese culture. Yeah.
Phenomenon is jointly commissioned by 4 orchestras, and you've already performed with other orchestras in other countries. But this time you are collaborating with a Chinese orchestra and will present your music to Chinese audiences. Are there any different feelings?
Yeah, I love my country. It's different. I want to always share the good music for this country. I'm very excited about that, especially this time composer come here have very special meanings for me. Yeah, I'm very touched and also very exciting about the orchestra. We have been cooperation already 2 times
Yeah,
at
this
least.
is the second time.
Yeah, second time for us. So that's one of the best orchestra in China. I'm very happy to do that. I'm looking forward. It's need a bigger challenge for the audience. You have to take a lot of challenge, for this kind of program. It's not easy. Mostly just Beethoven, Brahms, and contemporary music always need a bigger support.
I'd like to ask Miss Tang Ning, as I just said, it's actually quite rare to see solo performances of the Sheng even in China. So as the artistic planning head of NCPAO, from your observation, are there any challenges, to present such a work featuring an unusual instrument?
I think there are challenges, just as Wu Wei said, but not because of the Sheng, but because it is new. And it can mean risky for their money and the time they spend. It's a blind box. They don't know what they will hear. So I'm also curious about the same question in Europe. What is the attitude about the audience towards the new work? But in China, it is challenging. And, the symphonic music is something imported. It's not like growing from our own earth. And during the past decades, people get used to and get in love with the language and the aesthetic system. But then the recent century, things changed so rapidly, and it suddenly became another foreign language to the Chinese audience. So they also need time to get used to the new language. And some really refuse, but some are quite open. And I can tell every time we present new works, some audiences are really touched. So it depends on the work itself, and it also depends on how we present this work, all the details before the concert, how we combine the work with other core repertoire, and how we do the introduction work, how we rehearse every detail of the work. So it's always very responsible to premiere work.
Right. So, Bernd, I want to know your perspective on this. Is this topic, new works promotion among ordinary audiences.
It's always a problem, and I think globally a problem. But we have in Europe some, not only in Europe, some new music festivals, and then you have a specialized audience, which is quite small, but it's a group of people who
very
go
passionate.
there passionate and they go there every year, and they know what they have to expect, and they want it. But I'm more interested in the combination, actually, and in mixing. And it's not so much interesting for me the festival, more the normal program with new pieces. And then there comes.
Yeah, you've been rehearsing with NCPA Orchestra these days.
Yeah.
So what's the process of working with NCPAO?
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you believe that they have the ability to promote these innovative music?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
The orchestra members are pretty young and pretty
But
vibrant and dynamic.
Very open, very
Yeah.
open. Yeah.
I can tell they like your piece.
Oh.
When the violinists are at the lower stance, when they don't play, it's
Inspired.
No, they're very open-minded. That's wonderful.
Very open.
Yeah.
Wu Wei, what is your vision for the future of Chinese traditional music?
I mean, so Chinese music actually a culture. Yeah, Chinese instrument music, they have a huge space, opportunity to open for the future. It depends how you development. I think we have to learn each other from Western, also from my own country music.
Mm-hmm.
It's many things I feel I just understand only for the skin. I have to go much more inside. They have always there, but we needed time to in different direction, not only one direction, but we had to go
Broader.
open
Mm-hmm.
our space
Yeah.
in different direction. Let's probably have fun.
Tang Ning, will the NCPAO present more commissioned works, featuring Chinese instruments in the future?
I always think that Asian instrument like Sheng, that has thousands of years history, is still alive today. It's a miracle. And it's not exhibited in the museum with a tag from 3,000 years ago, but it's still alive and active on stage in our conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
And we have many students to learn to play this instrument. One significant reason is the works. Imagine how could Wu Wei become a great player if he doesn't have a work to play. So that is also Wu Wei's contribution to the world. He keeps commissioning new works for this instrument. And in the same time, the performers also keep the works alive. So that's why we will take commissioning new works as one of our missions. We all think the traditional Chinese music and the symphonic music from the West are great heritages from the human being, of the whole human beings, and they represent the highest achievement that our civilization could get, if we are not the only civilization on Earth. So we want those heritages not in the museum, but be alive and forever. So that's why we do that. And of course, we are very keen to focus on the Chinese traditional music. That's not because it is Chinese. It's because we want to find our own sounds. Because Chinese music system is totally different from the West. And we are now in the process of absorbing the huge impact from the West. So in the past 70 years, after China's opening up, we are trying to find ourselves among the very complicated and huge impact from various cultures. So I think it is just a trial to create brand new things that belongs to us, a new sound, a new language of our culture. And also today, our generation also needs various means to express themselves and to create. And music is the most important, most fundamental means to create for people. So we will keep doing this, that's for sure.
Great point. It's very important to find our own sound and our own voices, right? Okay, thank you very much to our guests. It's been wonderful talking with you. Special thanks to our program assistant, Olivia. Now let's enjoy the music of Sheng Concerto Phenomena, composed by Bernd Richard Deutsch and performed by Wu Wei and the NCPA Orchestra. I'm Ying Ying. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of NCPA on Stage.